Does anybody else who's going through a divorce feel like this emotional toll just takes such a physical toll on your body? I'm so exhausted, I can't sleep, and I'm stressed, and I can't remember things. Literally, my brain is just like not absorbing information. I can't remember what I did yesterday. I literally just cannot remember anything. I'm just forgetting everything, and I'm just never really been like that.
Isn't it wild, guys, how every single day there are new videos of divorced women who are crying on TikTok because they decided to leave their husband, okay? And I don't know if this particular woman has left her husband, guys, but statistically speaking, women are out here in mass leaving their husbands because they feel like it, thanks to no-fault divorce. And then they like to sit here and they like to cry and make car videos complaining about how rough life is now. But don't worry, they're happy because they're finding themselves. It's absolutely disgusting. What is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again. And on today's episode, we are going to be covering some divorced women who are dating after divorce. In fact, I actually think this woman takes up the entirety of today's episode because she spends that long crying. So without further ado, let's jump in. Let's take a listen to this woman's story. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
Anything, I'm just forgetting everything, and I'm just never really been like that. My patience is so short. I've also never been like that. I've always been a pretty patient person. I've never felt so angry in my life, and I've never understood what a toll being an angry person can take on you. And you're going through this whole thing, it feels like it's your whole body.
I love how these women make these videos and they're crying and complaining when typically they're the ones who initiate the divorce. Usually when the man initiates the divorce, the woman will tell you. If the woman initiates it, she'll sit here and she'll be really vague. But all of these videos, it's all about how she's the victim and she doesn't really know what's going on and life sucks, but you never actually get any sort of factual information out of these people who are making these videos, right? Because as soon as anyone has any kind of information, they can start to formulate a judgment. So what these women do is, rather than give you any sort of information, they spend the entire video crying and harping on about what a victim they are, but you don't actually understand what the hell is going on. Let me tell you what typically happens, guys. Women decide to leave their husbands because they're bored. They want to return to the streets. They feel like they are missing out. And then they leave and they cry and complain when either A, they can't take him for their money, or B, they can't also take the kids, or C, the relationship that she had lined up after this one fell through. Because so many of these women feel like they can do better, and then when that guy that they've had lined up just decides to not give them a relationship, they cry and we end up with videos like this of them regretting it. I think that maybe if this woman spent less of her time yapping on TikTok and more time taking care of her skin, she wouldn't come across as a complete witch, and maybe people would actually empathize with her. Guys, I don't want you to be a witch either, which is why today's episode is sponsored by Tiege Hanley. Guys, Tiege Hanley is a skincare company dedicated to creating straightforward and simple skincare solutions for men. Their systems are designed to be incredibly easy to use, so even if you're like this woman in this video, perhaps you are one of the slower members in the audience, maybe even a male womanist who is hate watching the channel, even you can get the hang of using their systems. Guys, Tiege Hanley offers various skincare systems to help improve your skin, but I recommend starting with their level 1 system. It includes a face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20, and a PM moisturizer as well. Everything that you will need to kickstart your skincare routine. I have personally used Tiege Hanley's level 1 skincare system since before they even decided to sponsor the channel, because I think that their stuff is just that great. And guys, if you're looking for some proof, head on over to their website and you will find an overwhelming number of 5-star reviews from satisfied customers all around the globe. Just take a look at these reviews that I'm going to put up on screen for you guys now. And because Teach Handler is sponsoring today's video, they are offering an incredible deal exclusively for you. Click the link in the video description now to get 40% off of your first box, plus a free gift. Plus, as a member, guys, you will enjoy 20% off of future purchases. So don't hesitate any longer. Check out the link in the video description to start your skincare journey with Tiege Hanley today. But now let's get back to today's episode.
And I'm physically just exhausted. And part of you wants to just rush through it and get it over with and move on because of how you feel physically and emotionally and mentally and everything. And because you just want to get your life back. You want to feel like a normal human being again.
Do you guys think that these women splash water on their face before they record these videos? Because I hear a lot of sniffling and I hear a lot of crying sounds, but I don't actually see any tears, any crying going on. This is the amazing thing about these videos is these women will they will literally go into their car. They will set up their camera on the dash and then they will record themselves crying, but they don't turn on the camera until they've started crying a little bit. You see what I'm saying? This whole thing is just manipulation. I'm surprised we don't have piano music playing over this, because normally what we have is we have women who edit in piano music to make it seem like a very sad situation, when oftentimes, guys, the reason why I don't empathize with these women is because they initiate these situations to begin with. And if your husband is such a horrible person and he's an evil man that you would go ahead and divorce him in the first place, why did you marry him in the first place? Oh, but I didn't know what kind of man he was. Get out of here. You decided to marry this man and you don't even know what kind of man he was. No, thank you. We're not buying that anymore.
I feel like a normal human being again. And then part of you is just sitting there holding out hope that maybe something would change, and it doesn't.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? She marries the guy, and her excuse here is, well, he's a bad guy, or he didn't give me what I wanted, but one day I hoped it would change. This is the excuse that all of these modern women give, because and that's what it is, right? It's an excuse. So they get to stay in the relationship for however long they want. They can leave as soon as they want. And then their rationale for leaving is, I thought things were going to change. I was with this man for 10 to 15 years, but you know what? I thought things were going to change, and that's the excuse I'm going to use to leave the relationship. If things were so awful, why didn't you leave back when you knew that things were bad? But you see, they don't like to take any accountability whatsoever. I thought things were going to change. I've been mistreated for such a long time, and yet you married the guy, or you chose to have kids with the guy, or you chose him in the first place. Let's not kid ourselves here, guys. Women have a stupid amount of options when they're out there dating. It's not my fault that you can't pick the correct man.
I don't know. I feel like when you're in the process of divorce, your whole life is just in this weird limbo. You're not married, but you're not really divorced yet. You're still living together, and you're just in this weird, unbalanced life. And everything just feels so up in the air and so uncertain. And I've been through a lot in my life. I really have. A lot. And I think the hardest part for me is that a lot of the things that have happened in my life, I've had no control over.
Let me just tell you guys this. I think that there are two types of people in the world. There are people who are perpetual victims, who see themselves as victims of absolutely everything, and they have no control over the outcomes that happen in their life. And then you have the separate group of people, another group of people who believe that they have control over everything, right? If they suck at something, it's their own fault. If something goes bad, they could have done something differently. Personally, guys, I think it's way better to belong in the second group. Right, this is playing a video game, right? And you've got some guy, and he's like bronze, right? He's the lowest rank in the video game, and he swears that his whole situation of being in bronze is because his teammate sucks. Right? Everybody knows somebody like this. I'm bronze, I'm silver, but the reason I'm had such a hard time is because my teammates suck, or whatever character I'm playing is just nerfed all the time and it absolutely sucks. Everybody knows people like this. Like, this woman is the real life equivalent, the non-video game equivalent, where things bad happen to me in my life all the time and I have no control over them whatsoever. Guys, I would strongly recommend that you do not be this sort of person. Even if what happens to you is incredibly unlucky, it's always better to look at what can you do differently so that you can avoid said situation, right? And even if you are very unlucky and something awful happens to you, best thing to do is probably not to record a TikTok for attention about it. Just my suggestion.
They weren't my choices. They were just sort of things that happened around me or to me or whatever. And because this was my choice, sometimes I feel like, what the frick am I doing to myself?
So the divorce was her choice. And she has kids here. Take a listen to this.
Is this going to be worth it in the long run for me and my kids? It was the right choice. But I've never put myself in a position to be this physically and emotionally stressed. And I feel like, even though this still was my choice, I feel like I still just have no control. And if
So she decided to divorce her husband. She doesn't even know if it's going to be good or not for the kids. Let me just tell you right off the bat, it's not going to be good for the kids. So you've divorced this guy because nothing changed after all of these years, right? We want to return to the streets. And now her life is just so uncertain. It's all up in the air. Whenever these women say that things are up in the air and their life is uncertain, my brain just immediately goes to the fact that thinks that these women are probably just talking about finances, right? Because she doesn't know how she's going to set her life up now that she's been kicked out of the house and now that she'll have to earn money entirely by herself. I see so many of these videos where women will swear up and down that they are contributing equally financially, right? And they want to take half the house. But if you actually look at the situation, she's like some sort of struggling photographer, or she doesn't pitch in nearly as much as the man does. So all of this crying and the victim and the tears and all of this nonsense comes in, and the whole my life is up in the air comes in because they can't afford things now, right? They have to go out there, they have to resume working, and so they want to throw away the man and return to the streets. But the problem is that he has given the protection and the provisioning to the woman, so now we get the tears. You see, we want the benefits of being with the man, but we don't actually want to be with the guy.
If you're a person that suffers from anxiety at all, not having control over the things in your life or the things around you just makes things 10 times more overwhelming. And I thought I would feel more in control in this situation, and I don't. To the point where it's just like, I just need to move forward, and the process just takes so long. The legal part of it, the physical part of it, moving and doing all those things, and anticipation of telling her kids, the kids still don't know. So like all of it just still feels like this huge weight. And I don't know if at the end of it, it's going to feel like the weight is lifted.
Yeah, so we made this decision and now we're worried that we might end up regretting it, right? All of this is going on for such a long time. We have to go through the whole legal process. And yes, this is why so many men don't want to get married, by the way, is because marriage is not really these days something that is between a man and the woman and the church, right? It's not really something that's between, at the very least, you and the woman. What the contract actually is now is it's a contract, guys, right? Where you have the man, you have the woman, and then you have the government who screws over the man in the end, typically. So many of the men who go through these situations, what ends up happening is they get their kids taken away from them. They lose a lot of their assets because this is a legal process. This is not, oh, we just love one another and here's some random piece of paper. No, marriage is a very serious thing, despite what these modern women would rather it be, which is just something that they can throw away whenever they feel like it. This is why dudes are so uninterested, at least one of the reasons why they're so uninterested in marrying women, particularly women like this, is because they're just going to get screwed over in the end because the woman decides that she feels like now's the time to leave. And, you know, she just leaves. No fault divorce is still a thing, guys. And all of a sudden you lose your assets and you lose your kids because she felt like it.
Because it's not like anyone wins. It's not like I'm winning something. It's not like there was a successful end to this, because there is no successful end in divorce. But I don't know. I hear a lot of people say that once it's all over, you will feel relieved, you will feel better, and you can start over. But where's the light at the end of that tunnel? I don't know.
So before we continue into the next woman, we've also got a woman lined up here. But, you know, these are other women. These are women who have been divorced. The reason why they tell you that it's so fantastic on the other side of divorce is because they don't want to see you succeeding. Okay, guys, I'm telling you, some women out there get so jealous of other women that they try and actively sabotage their relationships. Hell, all of these dating coaches that you see on TikTok, especially for women, I swear half of them are divorced, right? Or they're single mothers and things like this, and they decide to flick on the camera and give dating advice to other women that is completely awful and ruins their entire life. Yeah, marry your husband. You're going to be so much happier at the end of it. It's going to go great. And so the woman thinks to herself, I'm going to file those papers. Screw this guy. She goes and she files the papers. Lo and behold, she can't get any money from him. She can't get the kids. Everything's completely over. And now we end up with videos of them crying on the internet. Absolutely hilarious. But let's continue into a clip from this last woman here and see exactly what she has to say. So this is also another divorced woman, as far as I understand it.
Single dads that are tired of the dating apps, I have a new date proposal. Tomorrow's Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Bring the kids over, bring their homework, bring their laundry. I've got all the mom stuff. I will make tacos. We'll see if they get along. You can tackle my honey-do list. I need the shower door fixed, some air filters changed, ring camera batteries changed.
What are we're like 10 seconds into this video, and this woman is already telling us what things that she needs to have done. I swear, so many of these women, they look at dudes as, they look at their husbands, they look at their boyfriends, they look at potential husbands and potential boyfriends as simply, how much can this man do for me? It's just free labor. I see so many of them complain, oh, looking after children is just free labor. You should pay your woman and all of this sort of nonsense, right? You should pay her to look after the kids because it's free labor, despite the fact that it's their kids and all of this stuff, right? And despite the fact that cleaning the house is not that damn difficult. You have all of these women making these videos, and yet they're the ones that expect the labor from men. As far as I understand it, they're always like, well, why would I date a guy? He just wants me to be his mother. So many of these women are sitting here looking for their father figure, some dude to fix some shelves or to make things for them or to fix broken things. And then when men say no, all of a sudden it's a problem. Okay, and it just reeks of desperation. Here, come over, I'll make some tacos and you can fix all of my problems in my house. No, thank you, madam. We're okay, thank you. We can make our own tacos. It'll be fine.
If there's time and there's a spark, you could mow my lawn. Let me know. I want to thank Fred Main for pointing out that I'm still single because I make TikToks about trading Taco Tuesday for honey-do list chores for single dads. Nope, I think when it boils down to it, I'm still single because I have a really warped sense of humor from working in professional sports.
Let me just tell you right now, you're clueless. You're absolutely clueless. Your little TikTok videos that you think are funny, they're incredibly off-putting. I agree with this comment. This dude here, Fred Main 103, says, that's why you're still single. And then this woman has the gall to say, no, actually, the reason why I'm still single is my sense of humor is just a bit off. Ma'am, you have no sense of humor whatsoever. Guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. What do you think of these modern women who are dating after divorce? Do you think that they will be successful? Do you think that they will find the love of their life? Or do you think that they will still make videos on the internet with them fake crying for attention? Let me know down below. As always, guys, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.